Welcome to the series. Here we perform hands-on exercises with OpenAI API and Python. In this video, we will create a multimodal assistant using GPT and Dall-E 3 model, and these are the steps we will follow. First, we build a meal planner assistant, then get the assistant to generate output in a specific format using prompt engineering, then extract the text for the output, and then use that output to generate original images using Dall-E. That said, let's get started. All right, so first we install our necessary library, which is OpenAI. All right, so this is our OpenAI library and this is the version. And with that done, let's set up the key. Here we're keeping it simple. We're just setting up OpenAI API key, environment variable, and just replace this string with yours, you'll be done. And one extra thing I'm bringing in here is a display helper function. I'm basically taking in any output, could be a list, a dictionary, or even string. But then I am converting that into a string and using text wrap and mentioning a certain level of width so that the output remains within the confine of this screen width, doesn't go beyond it. Simple as that. So with that done, let's focus on creating our meal planner. All right, so I'm just bringing in the OpenAI from OpenAI, the class, and then I'm creating a function called create meals. It takes in ingredients as an argument and the calories. I'm setting the default to 2000 so the user can change it up, and then that will take over. And here is the prompt engineering part. I'm telling it to create a healthy meal plan for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the following ingredients. And this would be the variable that we get from here. Explain each recipe. The total calories should be below such and such, which is this variable right here. If nobody passes anything, then it will 2000 will be the limit. Assign a suggestive and concise title to each meal. And here I am actually defining how to display it. Your answer should end with title : and the title of each recipe. So this will follow a certain format so that later on we can grab it and do something with it. So afterwards, I'm preparing my messages, which is a list of dictionaries. First one would be the system and second one with the user. And the system message, I'm actually giving it a personality saying you are a talented cook. And then the user content would be the prompt, this guy right here. With that said and done, I'm creating the client equals OpenAI class invoking that I just got from here, and then getting the response using client.chat.completion.create. By the way, this is new for 1.x versions. And then model equals GPT 3.5 turbo, and message is my messages, this guy right here. With that, it's going to return the response. Now let me go ahead and initialize my method. Once that is done, here I'm preparing these foods to send as ingredients to my method or function, create meals, foods. And this is the response we're going to be getting. So let's first look at the response as it comes, and look, I'm actually using my print, which is this method right here. So let's see what it does. All right, we have our answer. This is the whole object, response object. And if you look here, you'll see choices, and inside choices, you'll find message. And inside message, the content is the container of our text response from the AI or API, right? So let's go grab that, just the message. Choice 0, message.content. All right. So this is exactly the answer we were looking for. So now that we see, we having the result, so let's put it in a variable so that we can use it later on. Okay, let me rerun this. All right, so this is exactly what we asked for, the breakfast, the recipe, and look at these titles, right? It just gave us a nice little list, exactly the way we asked for. We look up here, see, this is the last instruction. as to how to format this. It's the title colon and then recipe titles, and that's exactly what it did. So now we have this whole thing in our output variable, and next let's go see how we can isolate these in here. All right, here I'm just getting this titles here. This is the output, right? So I am doing a dot split lines and then and -3. Basically with this, I am taking this whole output and getting just this last 3 lines, right? And now that we have our titles, just 3 lines, we have a little problem with these dashes, and that's exactly what I'm cleaning up here. So let me print. And look, it gives us a nice little list of these titles. So we can just use any of these to create our images. So next, let's go to our second model, which is the image using Dall-E. All right, so this is the fun part of the whole exercise. This is where we take any of these titles and turn them into a spectacular looking images, right? So here I'm just bringing in the request library, so that we can fetch the image using the URL that Dall-E would generate, and then shuttle one to create the image locally. And of course, OpenAI is OpenAI. Using that, we just create our client. And in here, I just have a brand new function, create and save image. And here I'm going to send the title, as you saw the title above, one of those titles, and something extra in case the user tries to add something like, okay, do it this way, or give me a white background, etc., etc. And then some additional prompt I'm using to create this image prompt here, using this title, this extra, and high quality food photography, so that the quality remains really, really high. This is also part of the prompt engineering. And then I just create a response using client.images.generate. Here as a model, I pass Dall-E 3 as a prompt, image prompt right here, this guy, style vivid, size 1024 by 1024, and we have all these other measurements available. Then quality standard, even though I have standard and HD available, and it's a little cheaper and also not bad looking. And then n equals 1, that's like number of image, right? So with that done, now once this is invoked, response gives us all sorts of data in there. So from there we just collect data. The first element .url, that's where the image URL is. So with that image URL in hand, what we do, we go to fetching the image. And here's a variable image resource where we use the request.get image URL stream to true. And here we print out the image resource.status code, because if that is 200, that means pulling the image was successful. So only when that is successful, we're going to go and create the file. But here's the file name we are generating using those titles. Whichever title we pass, we create title.png, use the shuttle library to create the image using image resource.raw, and pass along the f as a file object, and this wb stands for write binary. So basically we write binary form of that image, and we use this library to do so, and then we return the image file. So basically when this is run successfully, right here we will see our image file present, right? And if there's some sort of a failure, we raise a flag right here. All that being done, let's go ahead and try to invoke it. But first, let's see what title we have here, right? Let me run that. Okay, cheesy, broccoli, whatever. So basically they're coming from right here, right? So let's get this one, right? Baked fish with roasted broccoli. To do that, we're going to go ahead and put in a number 2 here. So let's see. Yes, we have our right title. So now let's go create the image. So let me go ahead and run this. Okay, we have our title. If there is a 200, then we know our file has been created. There you go, 200. So let's see. There you go. That's our file. And now next would be, okay, I'm bringing in the PIL, which is Python image library, and getting the image object, and with image.open, and we pass this file name right here, and that should display our image right here. So let's see what happens. And at this point, we're looking forward to having a baked fish with roasted broccoli. Whoa, look at that. How gorgeous is this? So we have just finished our multimodal assistant. With that, I conclude this video where we just created a multimodal assistant using OpenAI, Python, and Dall-E 3.